What's up everyone, it's Bones here. In today's video, I'll be covering the new G Golem card as I continue through my Battles of Legends Crystal Revenge journey. But before I begin, if you happen to enjoy content like this, clicking on those thumbs up and subscribe buttons would be greatly appreciated, as it goes a long way in supporting the channel and shows me that you like content like this. So, to begin, you'll see that I'm going to start by reading G Golem Pebble Dog, and it reads, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can take one G Golem Pebble Dog from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except Cyber's monsters. If this card is sent from the hand to the graveyard, you can add one G Golem card from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effective G Golem Pebble Dog once per turn. As you can see with cards like Mathmech Circular and Code Generator here, this is another Cyber's deck, and the G Golems revolve mainly around Earths. For the second card that we have here, and it's the last one in the main deck for the monsters, and it reads, if this card is in your hand, you can discard one other Cyber's monster. Reduce this card's level by 2 until the end of this turn. You contribute this card, special summon 3 G Golem tokens, Cyber's Earth level 1, 0 attack, 0 defense, in defense position. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn, except Cyber's monsters. You can only use each effective G Golem Rockhammer once per turn. So, while only having 2 main deck monsters, their abilities to bring out extra bodies on board, even if it does lock you into Cyber's, are very good effects that still allow you to actually play with them. So, in this first combo here, and I'm going to take the Mathmech Circular route because I want to simplify this as much as possible. It's an obscure archetype that I haven't seen much coverage on. Shoot, even learning this was a little bit time-taking, but you'll see that I'm going to special summon the Circular, then I can use the Sigma effect to special summon itself back because we don't have a monster in our extra monster zone, and now we'll get the Circular effect, which will net us a search of the equation, and from here we can go into our Alimbertion, use its effect, detaching 2, in order to get us our Diameter. Now, from here we can normal summon the Diameter, and use its effect to bring back a Mathmech name, and now we're going to link away the Alimbertion and the Sigma in order to go into the Wicked. Now, we're going to use the equation that we searched previously in the turn in order to special summon back a Mathmech to a zone that Wicked points to in order to get a Banish here and a Search, and we'll get the Sigma, and from here we can link those 2 away into the Code Talker Inverted, which is just a way to get a monster out of your hand. And for this combo, we're going to do the Rockhammer, as it's just going to get us 3 extra bodies with the tokens. So we'll do just that, locking us into Cyber's for the turn. And from here, we can start linking away our monsters into our G Golem link monsters. And the first one that you'll see here is the Stubborn, and it requires 2 Earth monsters to make. If this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can target 1 Earth monster in your graveyard that can be normal summon set, add it to your hand, or special summon it. But if you special summon it, negate its effects and banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect of Stubborn once per turn. An extender type link monster with more implications than just this deck, which I'll happen to actually show on my next video. But from here, we're going to link away into the Invalid, which is the link 3 of the archetype, and it takes 2+ Earth monsters. Your co-linked monsters are unaffected by monster effects activated on your opponent's field. Your opponent's monsters must attack this card if able. Once per turn, you can discard 1 Cyber's monster, the Pebble Dog, and draw 1 card. If this co-linked card is destroyed, you can negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls. So definitely a sticky link 3 that has end-board implications along with good pointers, but we're going to get its effect, which will pitch us the Pebble Dog, and now with the Pebble Dog we can get the last of the main deck cards here, which is Gravity Balance, and this card is always treated as a G Golem card. Target 2 of your Earth monsters with the same name that are banished and or in your graveyard. Special summon both in defense position, but change their attack and defense to 0. Their effects are negated, also destroy them during the end phase. If a G Golem monsters you control would be destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. You can only use each effect of Gravity Balance once per turn, so the branded opening type effect is definitely useful to give your board protection, as a lot of these link boards where you spam a ton of link monsters without Cerberus or even Phoenix struggle to have protection. The G Golem cards kind of solve that a little bit. So from here, I'm going to use the code generator along with the Wicked in order to get into our transcode talker, and now we can use the code generator's effect, which will get us the send of a second Pebble Dog, and we're doing this for the Gravity Balance because we need two monsters that are Earth and have the same name. So now we'll use the transcode talker to bring back our Stubborn, and because we special summon back our Stubborn from the graveyard, we can now use its effect to bring us back an Earth monster, and we're just going to bring back the Pebble. It doesn't really matter what you bring here, as we're going to link away the Inverter and the Stubborn to go into our Firewall, and now we can link away the Pebble and the transcode to go into our Crystal Heart. And Crystal Heart reads that it takes two Cybers monsters. You can target one Earthlink monster in your graveyard, special summon it to your zone this card points to, and if you do, place one G Golem counter on this card. You can only use this effect of G Golem Crystal Heart once per turn. An Earth monster co-linked to this card gains 500 attack for each G Golem counter on this card. It can make a second attack during each battle phase. Also, if it attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage to your opponent. So a lot of effects there, but the ability to revive an Earth monster or an Earth Link monster along with its pointers is what's most important here, as now we're going to use its effect to get the revival of the transcode, helping us on our way to this U-Link board. Now we're going to use the Gravity Balance, which will get us back the two Pebble Dogs, and from here we can now make a second Crystal Heart, which will happen to also trigger our Firewall. And let's just be thankful this card has an errata, as I'm now going to special summon the Sigma, and to end this board I'm just going to make Lingeribo in order to protect ourselves from Evenly. We have some protection here through the Invalid Dolmen, along with some bounces via the Firewall, and two more cards in hand. Depending on the matchup, Lingeribo and Transcode can also be turned into Avramax, but in most scenarios, this is what your U-Link board will look like. Now, before I start the deck profile, I would like to read the last G Golem card here, which we have is Dignified Trilithon, and it reads that it takes 2+ Earth monsters it's a link for. Your opponent's monsters must attack this card if able, once per battle before damage calculation. If this card battles an opponent's monster, you can send one Earth monster from your hand to the graveyard. Until the end of this turn, that opponent's monster loses 200 attack. Also, negate its effects. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a link monsters you control effect, you can negate that effect, and if you do, destroy that card. You can only use this effect of Dignified once per turn. So again, kind of fitting the theme of protection with the Link 3 here. It's also important to note that with cards like Avramax and these two G Golems, you can create kind of like an old school Commander Nightlock or Marauding Captain, where you're kind of forced to attack one, but because multiple monsters have the effects, you can't really attack anything. So it's a nice old soft lock that seems to be coming back into the game. Now onto the card by card, you'll see that I'm maxing out on the 3 Rockhammer and the 3 Pebble Dog. With the 3 Rockhammer, the ability for Rockhammer to discard another Cybers monster and reduce its level by 2, you're able to normal summon it, so it's not necessarily a dead card if you do draw it. Pebble Dog just being a discard or a normal summon that can get you an extra body is also nice. The 3 Diameter along with the 3 Circular, the 2 Sigma, and the addition for the Math Mech package. At the end of the day, what you want here is to make maximum use of Circular, as it's one of the parts that glues this deck together. Then we have the 3 Parallel Exceed, the 2 Code Generator, and the 1 Microcoder. 2 because they're Earth. This is Dark. They technically have the same effect, being able to go into a Code Talker link monster by linking them away from the hand. Generator also has the extra ability to send a name to the graveyard. Then finally for the Cybers monsters, we have the Dotscaper. For the Bestial package, we run 3 Magna, the 2 Druisworm, and the 2 Saronir. I do this for variants. I kind of don't want to see the same names, and I want to be able to resolve them as much as I can. So that's my reason for the 2-2 instead of the 3-1, especially since we're playing the 3 Magnas. Then we have the 3 Forbidden Droplets. Dweller in the format, you kind of just have to do it, especially with Sprite Elf being able to protect it. And there's the 3 Signet Minings, 1 Gravity Balance, the 1 Mathmech Equation, the 1 Signet Conflict, 1 Called by the Grave, and the 3 Triple Tactics Talent to round out the main deck. To the extra deck, we have Avermax, Access Code, Firewall, the G Golem Dignified, the G Golem Invalid, the Heat Soul, the Transcode Talker, the Stubborn, the 2 Crystal Hearts, the Code Talker Inverted, Splash Mage, Wicked, Lingeribo, and Alan Bershin to round out the extra deck. Anyways, that's all for today's video, and if you made it this far, I hope you enjoyed and I thank you for watching. If you have any thoughts or comments, feel free to leave them down below. It's Bones, signing out.